Krishna जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदा नंदना जय ब्रज जनरंजना जय ब्रज यमुना तीरवन जय यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी श्री श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस महाराज प्रभुपाद की
जय
इस्कॉन देवी संस्थापकाचार्य श्री प्रभुपाद की
जय
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sri Thakur Prabhupada ki,
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki,
Jai.
Namacharya Shradas Thakur ki,
Jai.
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की
Jai.
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड श्री गिरि गोवर्धन की
Jai.
ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की
Jai.
पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की
Jai.
नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की
Jai.
गंगा माई जमुना माई की
Jai.
भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की
Jai.
कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की
Jai.
हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की
Jai.
श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसलेशनल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की
Jai.
निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे
Hare Guru.
all glories to assembled devotees all glories to assembled devotees all glories to assembled devotees all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshur-unmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. So reading from the various aspects of Sharanagati. So we discussed Anukulasya Sankalpa Pratikulasya Varjanam. Third is Rakshaishyati iti Vishvaso. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna Vishvasa Palana. So the definition is given as follows. Rakshishyati himam Krishno bhaktanam bandhava saha kshemam vidhasyati yat vishvaso atraiva grihyate. So vishvaso atraiva grihyate, to have this vishwas, to have this faith that kshemam vidhasyati iti yat, that all auspiciousness, benefit, welfare, protection, etc. will come. Kshemam vidhasyati yattat. By whom? Rakshishyati himam Krishno. Krishna will definitely protect me. Rakshishyati, Krishna will protect who? Me. Rakshishyati himam Krishno. Why he will protect me? Bhaktanam bandhavaschaya. Because Krishna is the closest well-wisher of his devotees. And that's why Krishna will protect. And that is what is described here. That Bhaktanam bandhavaschaya kshemam vidhasyati. And all auspiciousness will arise out of this. Tada tadahamishasya bhaktanam sham abhipsatam anugraha manyamana pratishtam dishamuttaram. When Narad Muni's mother is killed by a snake bite when he is only 5 years old, Narad Muni is without any material shelter. For a 5-year-old child to be without a mother, to be completely anath, can be an extremely terrifying experience. But how does Narad Muni process this situation? He says, Tadaham ishasya bhaktanam sham abhipsatam. having faith that Krishna is the ultimate well-wisher of his devotee. Abhipsata means desires. What? Bhaktanam Sham. Sham means auspiciousness. One who is constantly planning for his devotees' auspiciousness. Haraye Hari Medhase. One who is always using his intelligence to relieve his devotees from distress. And therefore, Narad Muni says, Bhaktanam Sham Abhipsatam Anugraha Manyamana. I considered this calamity of my mother passing away as a great anugraha, as a great benediction. Pratishtam Dishamuttaram. And I went in the northern direction, searching for that same Lord who has embraced me with this particular situation. So that is the result of hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, and that is what is described in the Bhagavatam. Yata Srinavato apaiti aratir vitrishna sattvam cha shuddhyati achirena pumsam bhaktim harautat purushe cha sakhyam tadevaharam vadamanyase chet. When we hear in the association of devotees the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 5 powerful effects. First, aratir, distaste goes away. The distaste for hearing goes away. We develop taste for hearing. Because taste does not occur just all of a sudden. Right? Prabhupada is in New Vrindavan, and there was the Janmashtami festival. And after the full day festival at night, after the Arati, Prabhupada told the devotees to read Krishna book. Now at 12:30 at night, after the full festival is over, who would imagine that we would have energy to hear Krishna book reading? And it is not that Prabhupada is giving a lecture. If he gives lecture, even then, some people may feel enthusiastic. But Prabhupada tells one devotee to read. And Prabhupada sits with his eyes closed. And everybody is sitting in front of Prabhupada also with their eyes closed. But their eyes are closed and they are on different plane. And Prabhupada keeps hearing the first chapter. And when the first chapter of Krishna book is read, the one who is reading says, "Thus ends the chapter 1 of Krishna book, Advent of Lord Krishna." And all the devotees are blissful. Say, "Haribo!" They feel it is over. Prabhupada says, "Next chapter." And then next chapter. And then suddenly Prabhupada opens his eyes and he sees right in front of him, devotees are falling over each other. The sannyasis' dandas are coming down. And Prabhupada looks at the scene and turns to the devotee and says, "Looks like the devotees are tired." And the devotee says, "Yes, Srila Prabhupada." Prabhupada said, "Let us have prasadam now." And then there is the loudest Hari Bol for that. So you cannot artificially show that I have taste for hearing. Yet Shrinavato apaiti aratir. The distaste goes away. Second, vitrishna. The material desires dissipate. Sattvam cha shuddhyati. Mode of goodness increases. Bhaktim harau. Devotion arises to Krishna. Bhaktim harau. Tat purushe cha sakhyam. And fifth, we develop relationship and friendship with the devotees. Tadeva haram vadamanyase chet. May I hold this Harikatha around my neck like a garland. Parikshit Maharaj is saying, let me hold this Harikatha around my neck just like a garland. Let it be the har which decorates me. Tadeva haram vada manyaset chet. So therefore he says that Athanyat api Krishnasya toka charitam adbhutam manusham lokam asadya tata jatim anurundhata. And therefore I am very eager to hear about Krishna's childhood pastimes. Toka charitam adbhutam. because people can very well relate with Krishna when he performs pastimes in the human society. Because you find it relevant, you find it, you can connect with it. Toka charitam. Manusham lokam asadya tat jatim anurundhata. Because people can see, yes, this is from our own jati. You can connect with it like that. Krishnera jateka khila sarvottama naralila naravapu yahara swarupa. So amongst Krishna's pastimes in different incarnations, Krishna, when he comes and performs pastimes in the human society, it is the most attractive and it enchants the hearts of all. So therefore Brahmaji says, Prapancham nishprapanchopi vidambayasi bhutale prapanna janakananda sandoham pratitum prabho. Krishna appears in the material world although he is nishprapancha. He cannot be captured by the influence of the modes, but still he enters into the material world which is filled with modes. Prapancham nishprapanchopi vidambayasi, and he plays and performs pastimes. Why? Prapanna janakananda, to increase the pleasure and joy of those who are surrendered to him. Sandoham, and spread the various flavors of ecstasy in relationship with him. And therefore jananta eva janantu kim bahu uktya prabho manaso pusho vacho vaibhavam tava gocharam. Brahmaji says, people may say, I know Krishna, but in spite of glorifying Krishna with words, using one's intelligence to the fullest, one cannot understand Krishna's glories. It is not possible. And therefore, aho bhagyam nandagopa brajokasam yanamitram paramanandam purna brahma sanatanam. That the Brajavasis are so fortunate, they are playing with Krishna as if Krishna is their only friend and not a worshipable God. And therefore, Parikshit Maharaj asked this question to Shukadeva Goswami. Nemam virincho na bhavo na shrirapyanga samshreya prasade lebire gopi yattat prap vimuktida. What did Yashoda Mai do? Because of which Krishna gave her a fortune of becoming son, which even Brahma, Shiva, Lakshmi, etc. did not give. He did not give to them. What made Krishna do this? So Yashoda Mai, she was so intimately associated with Krishna that, after having given the darshan of the entire Brahmanda, when Aishwarya should grow, but Yashoda Mai did not become bewildered by Krishna's Aishwarya. And therefore, in spite of seeing that Aishwarya, Yashoda Mai continued with her Vatsalya. Traya cha Upanishadbhischa Sankhya Yogaischa Sattvatayhi Upagiyamana Mahatmyam Harersa Amanyata Putraka. This verse is known as the Paribhasha Sutra of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which defines the main mood of Vrindavan Dham. That even if someone is inspired to look at Krishna from the bhav of Aishwarya, the Brajavasis will never ever touch the Aishwarya. Traya cha Upanishadbhischa Sankhya Yogaischa Sattvatai. Upagiyamana Mahatmyam, Krishna's greatness, Aishwarya, is described in all the scriptures. But Yashoda Mai, in spite of knowing all that, and after seeing Krishna's display of universal form within his mouth, what she thinks? Harersa Amanyata Putraka. He is simply my son only. Pravruddha Sneha Karilam Hridayasit Yathapura. And again, in a few moments, the Vatsalya for Krishna rises within her heart like before. So in this way, the devotee is fully convinced that Bhaktanam Bandhavas Jasa. So all this discussion which I just concluded was to explain this particular term, that Rakshishyati Himam Krishno, Krishna will definitely protect me. Why? Bhaktanam bandhavascha saha. He is the well-wisher of his devotees. And all the Brajavasis had full conviction in this. And as the greatest example is Krishna sees Aghasur's open mouth, all the cowherd boys enter into Aghasur's mouth. And they are all discussing, what if he's actually a demon? And then another cowherd boy says, even if he's demon, Krishna is there to take care. No? What is our problem? So they enter. So when Bhishma takes a vow that I will kill all the Pandavas, 5 Pandavas with the 5 arrows, and that time Krishna becomes filled with anxiety, because Bhishma has taken a vow means Bhishma is famous for taking vows only. And his name is Bhishma. So he takes vows very seriously. And so Krishna knows this is something serious. He rushes to the camp of Arjuna and finds Arjuna sleeping peacefully. Absolutely no anxiety. After having worked hard the whole day, Arjuna is sleeping, and when Arjuna is sleeping, while inhaling and exhaling, Krishna's name comes out of Arjuna. So Arjuna had such devotion that he was constantly thinking of Krishna. Inhaling Krishna, exhaling Krishna. Krishna's holy name constantly emanating from Arjuna in waking state and in sleeping state. Even while sleeping, he is chanting Krishna's holy name. And in our case, while chanting Krishna's holy name, we go to sleep. There is a slight difference. And therefore, when Krishna wakes up Arjuna, Arjuna gets up in the middle of the night, looks at Krishna and says, why are you in anxiety, my dear Lord? And Krishna says, Arjuna, do you know what has happened? Arjuna says, what happened? Krishna says, Bhishma has taken a vow. Arjuna says, so what? He's always taking vows. But this is different type of vow. So Arjuna says, what vow? Krishna says, Bhishma has taken a vow that with 5 arrows, he will kill each one of the 5 Pandavas tomorrow. So Arjuna was sitting back on the bed, rolls back on the bed and hits the pillow. Krishna says, what are you doing, Arjuna? Arjuna says, well, protecting devotees is your department, not mine. And Arjuna goes back to sleep with full confidence that Krishna is there to protect. I will do my best to fight, but everything else is in Krishna's hand. So therefore, Kshemam Vidhasyati. Kshemam Vidhasyati iti yat. Kshemam or auspiciousness, welfare, benefit will come, will spread. Kshemam Vidhasyati iti yat Vishwaso atraiva grihyate. Having that faith. Herein such faith is Vishwaso atraiva grihyate, means such faith is sustained. That is called Rakshishyati iti Vishwaso. Like that. So therefore, having this kind of principle of complete faith in Krishna is what is described here. Right? So when Prabhupada first went to America, and then he started saying, I am not this body, I am the soul. So some of the hippies who were attending, they thought, okay, Prabhupada is the soul. He is definitely not his body. But he is not referring to us, because we can't believe it. Right? Because this principle is so deeply ingrained, the bodily concept. One brahmachari was massaging Srila Prabhupada. He was quite a muscular devotee. And then on the side there was a mirror. And as he was massaging, he started looking at his own body, going up and down. And Prabhupada, while taking the massage, looked also and saw what he is doing. But he didn't see Prabhupada, and he was doing back and forth and looking at himself, and suddenly Prabhupada said, you are not this body. He immediately cautioned, yes, Prabhupada, yes. So therefore, the higher principles can only be entered into after we go through the basics. And therefore, if you see Prabhupada's lectures, he would focus a lot on the basic lectures. Dehinosmin yatha dehi. Seventh chapter, first verse. Yatha gyasasi tachrinu. Right? So, Maya asakta manapata. Yogam yujnan manashaya. Asamshayam samagramanam yatha gyasasi tachrinu. So Prabhupada was focused a lot on many of the basic verses. Why? Because the foundation for spiritual life has to be built systematically. And it is based on the principle of serving, surrendering, and following the principles properly. And that's very important. Samanashila Prabhupada. What is the meaning of the verse spoken by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur? Nikunja yono ratikeli siddhyai yayali bhe yukti rabe kshaniya. That the spiritual master assists Radha and Krishna in the groves of Vrindavan. And the disciple assists the spiritual master in that Radha Krishna seva in the kunjas of Vrindavan. So this disciple was looking for a very esoteric answer from Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said the meaning is you go out and distribute books. Because that is what I want you to do. And you assist me in doing this. At this stage, this is what you are supposed to do. And therefore, spiritual life begins with serving the Vaishnavas and serving the spiritual authorities, trying to please them in every possible way, and then creating the right ecosystem by which we can advance in Krishna consciousness. So therefore Rupa and Sanatan say to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Patita pavan hetu tumar avatar amabai jagate patita nahi aar. There is no one more patit than us. Jagai madhai dui korile uddhar, tara uddharile shrama nahila tumar. Brahmana jati tara navadvipe ghar, नीच सेवा नहीं कर नहीं नीचे रकुपर. सबे एक दोष तार होए पापाचार, पाप राशि दहे नावा भासे तुमार. तुमार नाम लैया तुमार कोरिला निंदन, से नाम होइला तार मुक्तिर कारण. जगाय मधाय होइते कोटि कोटि गुण, अधम पतित प्रभु आमी दुई जन. म्लेच्छ जाति म्लेच्छ से भी करी म्लेच्छ कर्म, गो ब्राह्मण द्रोहे संगे अमार संगम. मोर कर्म मोर हाथे गलाय बांधिया, को विषय विष्टा करते दिया छे फैलाइए. They are expressing in all these series of verses their fallen condition and expressing to the Lord how you need to protect us, because we have engaged in all kinds of sinful activities to assist the sinful activities. And therefore, we request you to deliver us from these sins. And with every moment, we are simply drowning further in the mud of sense gratification of this world. We are worse than Jagai and Madhai, because Jagai and Madhai, their only problem was they committed some sin. That sin you can eradicate simply by chanting your holy name. And therefore, by the chanting of the holy names which they did while criticizing you, that holy name burned the mountain of their sins. Therefore, we consider ourselves to be more fallen than them, because we engaged in the service of the fallen and tried to promote their activities. A person becomes elevated or fallen because of birth, activity and association. And therefore, we got completely bewildered in our life. Therefore, we need your shelter so that you can actually take care of us. So Mahaprabhu tells them, आजी होते दुहार नाम रूप सनातन, दैन्य छाड़ तुम्हार दैन्य पाटिवनमन. That I hereby give you the name Rup and Sanatan. I initiate you. And my first instruction to you after initiating you is give up your humility. Give up your humility, because your humility is breaking my heart. Gauda desh nikate asite nahi mora prayojan, tuma duha dekhite mora iha agaman. I had no plan plans to come here to Gaudadesh, but I simply came just to see you. And therefore, Janme Janme Tumi Duis Kinkar Amar. Life after life, you have been my kinkar, you have been my servants. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very much accepts the shelter being asked for by Rupa and Sanatan, because he sees their mood is that of humility, helplessness, and wanting to take shelter of the Lord. So now we will sing this beautiful bhajan of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, where he is expressing how I wish to take shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. Ekhon bujhino Prabhu Tomar charana
Ekhon bujhino Prabhu Tomar charana
Ashoka bhayamrita Purna sarvakshana Sakala chadiya tuva Charana kamale
Sakala chadiya tuva Charana kamale
Podiyachi aminatha Tava padatale Tava pada padmanatha Rakhi Aar rakha karta nahi He bhava sansare
Aar raksha karta nahi He bhava samsare
Amitava nitya dasa Janino ebara
Amitava nitya dasa Janino
Amar paran bhara Ekhon tomara Bado dukha paiyachi Swatantra jivane
Dukha paiyati Swatantra jivane
Dukha dure gelo padabarane
Dukha dure gelo Padavara
যে পদ পাইয়া শিবা শিবত্ব লভিলা
যে পদ পাইয়া শিবা শিবত্ব লভিলা
পদ লভিয়া ব্রহ্মা কৃতার্থ হইলা
পদ লভিয়া ব্রহ্মা
যে পদ নারদ মুনি হৃদয়ে ধরিলা
যে পদ নারদ মুনি হৃদয়ে হরিলা
এখন বুঝিনু প্রভু তোমার
সেই সে অভয় পাদা শিরেতে ধরিলা
परम आनंद नाची पद गुण गाया
परमानंद नाची पद गुण गाया
संसार में पद होने अवश्य उद्धार
सार विपद होते
भक्ति विनोद ओ पद करिबे गोमा
भक्ति विनोद पद करिबे तोमा
कोना बुझिनु प्रभु तुम्हार चरण कोना बुझिनु प्रभु तुम्हार अशोक भयामृत पूर्ण अशोक भयामृत पूर्ण सर्वक्षण এখন বুঝিনু প্রভু তোমার চরণ I know now that your lotus feet, Tomara Charana, is Ashoka abhaya. They are a refuge which gives me protection from sorrow and fear. And Amrita Purna, it is full of sweet nectar. Sarvakshana, always, eternally. Like that. So when we speak about divine feet, basically it means the Lord's lotus feet are constantly being served by His devotees. So the lotus feet represents the principle of absorption in service. When the mind is constantly absorbed in two questions. How can I serve you? And how can I please you? That is the essence of being absorbed in the Lord's lotus feet. Where the focus is taken away from one's own selfish thoughts of happiness and distress. Chiram iha vrajanarthastapyamano nutapai avitrisho sadamitro dvandvavataha alabdha shanti kathancha sharanada samupeta tatpadabjam paratman abhayam ritam ashokam pahi mapannamisha. So the Bhagavatam is describing about the lotus feet of the Lord. Chiram iha vrajinarthas. Since long time I have been going through distress in this material world. The journey of my material world has been filled with distress. Chiram iha, since long time. Vrajina arthas tapyamano anutapai. And therefore I am experiencing great distress and burning sensation, anutapai. Second, avitrisho shadamitro. And the 6 enemies are constantly attacking me. Greed, pride, lust, envy, anger, illusion. These 6 are constantly attacking me, and I am unable to become free from the influence of those attacks. Avitrisho means without any break. They do not seem to feel tired at all. And then alabdha shanti kathanchit. And in my effort to fulfill these 6, I have so far remained without any shanti. I have not experienced any shanti at all. I am constantly in distress. And therefore I am approaching your lotus feet. Sharanada samupeta. I am coming close to your lotus feet. Sharanada samupeta tvat padabjam paratman. Oh my dear Lord, your lotus feet will give me shelter from the influence of all of these various issues which I have faced in life. And I have full confidence that your lotus feet will give me abhayam, fearlessness, ritam, truth, ashokam, freedom from all shoka or lamentation, pahi mapannam isha. Oh my dear Lord, please protect me in all possible ways. And so I am approaching your lotus feet with this faith. Marganti yatte mukhapadmanidai chandai suparnai rishayo viviktai yasyagamarshoda saritvaraya padam padam tirtha padat prapanna. The demigods are praying that we are powerless, and unless we take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, we will not be given empowerment to create this material world. And therefore they say, we are just like birds who are flying towards the lotus face of the Lord and the lotus feet of the Lord, which is like our nest. And therefore we are carried by the wings of the Vedic instruction, moving in that direction, seeking shelter. So therefore, in the Bhagavatam also it is described, Yatapada samchraya suta munaya prashamade sadhya punanti upasprishta spardhuni apunu sevaya. That Ganga, can only purify after you take a bath in the Ganga. But simply by approaching the lotus feet of great souls, purification begins, because they carry the lotus feet of Lord Krishna within their heart. And in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the great devotee Akrurji, when he is entering Vrindavan, when he looks at the footprint of Krishna on the Braj Raj, he goes into ecstasy and glorifies the lotus feet of Krishna. And he says, Yadarchitam Brahma Bhavadivi Surai Shriyacha Devya Munecha Satvate Gocharayanani Charas Charadvane Yad Gopikanam Kuchakum Kumankitam. He says, the lotus feet of Krishna are so powerful that they are being aspired to be served by the greatest devotees, including Brahma, including Shiva, including Lakshmi. But those lotus feet of Krishna are simply trying to follow the calves of Vrindavan. And Krishna is busy taking the calves out and serving the calves. So the lotus feet of Krishna is the great object of worship for all the great devotees. But those lotus feet are busy serving the weakest and the humblest of all in Vrindavan, the calves of Vrindavan. Shriyacha Devya Munecha Satvate Gocharayana Nuchares Charadvane. That is the power of Krishna's lotus feet. The gopis are praying in the Gopi Geet, Pranata Dehi Nam Papa Karshanam Trina Charanugam Shri Niketanam Fani Fanarpitam Te Padambujam Krino Kujechuna Krindi Hirichayam. That the lotus feet of Krishna are such that by being worshipped, they can destroy the sins of the conditioned souls. Papa Karshanam. Trina Charanugam, and they are following these calves into Shri Vrindavan Dham. Shri Niketanam, that is where Lakshmi desires to reside by serving. Fani Fanarpitam, Te Padambujam, by dancing on the hoods of Kaliya. Krishna purified Kaliya. And the wives of Kaliya, the Nagapatnis, are glorifying Krishna. Kasyanu bhavosya na deva vidmahe tavangri redum sparashadhikara yadvanchaya shri raranacharat vihaya kaman suchiram tridavrata. My dear Lord, we are astounded that our husband was an embodiment and emblem of envy, full of impurities and material desires. Tavangri renu sparashadhikara. How did he get the benediction of being blessed by the dust of your lotus feet? Yad vanchaya shri lalana charat tapo. That lotus feet is aspired to be served even by Lakshmi Devi. Vihaya kaman suchiram tridavrata. Lakshmi Devi gives up all of the various opulences simply to perform austerities in the Shrivan to attain Krishna's lotus feet. And that lotus feet came in contact with Kaliya. It will give a heart attack to many devotees. That what is the criteria by which we can get Krishna's mercy? It seems to be totally illogical. So therefore, because of Krishna's love for the Nagapatnis, Kaliya also got the benefit of Krishna's grace because of being connected to the Nagapatnis. Like that. And therefore, after Krishna's disappearance, all the trees of Vrindavan, the trees all over on the planet, they are growing on the earth. And Mother Earth offers, her prayers. And she says, Kava saheta viraha purushottamasya premavaloka ruchirasmita valgu jalpaihi Sthairyam samana maharan madhumaninam romotsavo mama yadangri vitankitaya. She says, as long as Krishna's lotus feet were in touch with me, I was in ecstasy. And actually, whatever trees you see, those trees are nothing but the hairs of ecstasy standing on end. when Krishna's lotus feet touched me, she's saying. So, Kava Saheta Viraha Purushottamasya Prema Valoka Ruchira Smita Valgujalpai. Now, I am in separation from that lotus feet of Krishna. I am in separation from the association of Krishna. And so I am experiencing great distress. Romotsavo mama vidangri vitankitaya. And therefore, the lotus feet of Krishna here are described as Ashoka Bhayamrita Purna Sarvakshana. That it is full of immortality, it frees you from all distress, it frees you from all fear. With that faith, we try to serve Krishna's lotus feet by having the ability to approach the devotees, folding our hands and asking, how can I serve you? And how can I please you? So therefore it translates into this, which is Vaishnava Seva. And so that lotus feet is experienced through serving the devotees, like that. So one devotee, Srila Prabhupada was thinking that I will make him the president, in one temple. And this devotee got to know that Prabhupada is thinking like this to increase my responsibility. And he did not want that. So he wrote a few pages of reasons on how he is unqualified for that particular service, and put it in his pocket and went and met Srila Prabhupada and folded his hand and said, yes, Srila Prabhupada, how can I serve you? Which is quite a contradiction, because he is ready with how I cannot serve, and he is asking, how can I serve? So Prabhupada is also no less. Prabhupada looked at him and said, yeah, I have something very important for you. He said, yes, Prabhupada, tell me. Prabhupada said, I want you to take sannyas. So he got totally bewildered. He said, what? Sannyas? Prabhupada, yeah, sannyas, take sannyas. He says, Prabhupada, how can I take sannyas? It's not possible. I just got married. I got a small 6-month-old son. Prabhupada said, no problem. Krishna is there to take care. You take sannyas. But Srila Prabhupada, how is it possible? My senses are not in control. Prabhupada said, you take sannyas, along with that power will also come. Don't worry. We are there to support you. Take sannyas. He says, Prabhupada, it is not possible. I am not at all qualified. Prabhupada said, qualification will come. You take. He says, Prabhupada, I am willing to do anything, but I cannot take sannyas. Prabhupada said, become president. So we say, by taking the beads in our hand, my dear Lord, please engage me in your service. But the mind is thinking, please engage him in your service. And sometimes simply by seeing the caller ID, the Paramatma reveals to us that this call means some service is coming. And then our honesty is tested. Because if I take this call, means extra mercy will come. Right? So can you request people outside not to speak? They can go down if they are interested in speaking. So Ashoka Bhayamrita means that lotus feet is of course Krishna's lotus feet. But one devotee was telling me, I really love the deities. Why? They always smile and they never speak anything. When it comes to devotees, what they will say is unpredictable. And when I try to please them, many times they become displeased. But there are no shortcuts. Next, he says here, let us sing the second paragraph. Sakala chadiya tuva charana kamale.
Sakala chadiya tuva charana kamale.
Sakala chadiya tuva charana kamale. Charana Kamale, at the soles of those lotus feet, Sakala Chadiya, I surrender myself. Odiyachi Ami, I surrender myself, and Sakala Chadiya, and all I possess. This is interesting. I surrender myself and all I possess. Not that I surrender myself, but what I possess also remains with me. So when Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami surrendered to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu had given them mandate to create Vrindavan, to establish temples, to acquire land, to establish the institution. And the first thing you require when you have to build a temple, when you have to purchase land, is Lakshmi. And ironically, very interestingly, Rupa and Sanatan, while traveling towards Vrindavan on instruction of Mahaprabhu, the first thing they did was give away 7 boats filled with gold bars. Gold bars, 7 boat filled with that. And the total amount of gold which they gave away in charity is unimaginable. So one may find it contradictory. We are supposed to be Rupanuga. What are we supposed to learn before our Janmashtami fundraising drive? Why did they give up? Because they understood that Mahaprabhu's instructions is to establish the glory of Sri Vrindavan, to establish the principles of bhakti based on the Shastras, to establish the Vaishnava Sadachar, especially in the renounced order and for other orders of life. And then after these are established, then the temples needs to be built. But first, what needs to be done has to be clarified. So Rupa and Sanatan went without any possessions. Otherwise, the first thing, as soon as they entered Vrindavan, they could have started acquiring land. And they could have built the temple. So Rupa and Sanatan never saw with their own eyes any of the gorgeous temples built during their lifetime. But they created the ecosystem for the same by writing the books and the literatures, doing the bhajan and realizing Krishna. And thus they established that Vrindavan cannot be built on the foundation of throwing money. Vrindavan means one has to experience the consciousness of being the servant of the servant. And therefore, that is what Rupa and Sanatan were kind of fully absorbed in, experiencing what is Krishna Bhakti. So therefore, many times people discuss, what do we need in ISKCON today? What should we do? Better strategy, better funding, better resources, better this, better that. The most important thing we need is Krishna consciousness. And that's what Rupa and Sanatan went and did for the 18 to 20 years they were in Vrindavan. Established the standards for Krishna consciousness. They made sure they were Krishna conscious all the way through. If that is there, then everything else follows. Then Jiva Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami built on that foundation, inspired Todarmal, inspired Mansingh. Then the red sandstones came and the big temples, gorgeous temples were built. Raj Seva hoye taha vichitra prakar, divya samagri, divya vastra alankar, sahasra sevaka seva kore anukshan, sahasra vadane seva najaya varnan. And all of these beautiful temples, Tatevasi Ache Sada Brajendra Nandan Sri Govinda Devanam Sakshat Madan, Vrindavana Kalpatrume Suvarna Sadan Mahayoga Pitataha Ratna Simhasan. All the gorgeous temples in Vrindavan ultimately were built only after 1565 period, not before that. All that happened after 1565, and in 1590 the Govind Dev temple was officially built. And that also, the golden period of Vrindavan was in that period from where Rupa and Sanatan entered Vrindavan 1516 all the way till 1670 when Aurangzeb attacked. And then all the deities were moved over. And these were the temples established by the Manjaris from the spiritual world. So Krishna is saying that even if my own associate established temples, you cannot protect it from the uncertainties of this world. The uncertainties and unpredictabilities of this world are such that it can rock anyone and anything, including my own holy abode, including activities conducted directly by me and my associates. And therefore, one has to remain focused on how to remain absorbed and steady in the midst of all kinds of unsteadiness. So therefore here he says, I have relinquished everything at your lotus feet. Podiyachi Aminatha. I am fallen at your feet. Sakala Chadiya Tuva. Charana Kamale. And I am giving everything to you also. Okay. So Narottam Das Thakur says, Gaurangera Duti Pada Jaradhana Sampada Se Jane Bhakati Rasasar Se Jane Bhakati Rasasar. One who understands the power of lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who makes it as his wealth, he will actually understand what is Bhakti Rasasar. Gaurangera Madhur Lila Tara Karne Prabeshila Hrudaya Nirmala Bhelotar Hrudaya Nirmala Bhelotar. And when one allows Mahaprabhu's pastimes to enter through the ears and enter the heart, then one becomes transformed. And that is why Kaviraj Goswami says, Jeva nahi bujhe keha, shunite shunite seha, ki adbhuta chaitanya charitra, Krishne upajibe priti, janibe rashera riti, shunilai bada hoye hita. He says, while hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita, while hearing Mahaprabhu's Leela, even if you do not understand what is going on, keep hearing. So Kaviraj Goswami gives warning in advance. Repeatedly he gives warning to all the readers. In between he threatens also. If you think this is ordinary, then you will go to hell. Be careful. So he will wake up the readers now and then. So Shunite Shunite se, keep hearing. Ki adbhuta chaitanya charitra. Krishna upajibe priti. It will develop priti towards Krishna. Janibe rashera riti. And you will understand how the various formula of rasa flows. Shunilai bada hoye hita. You will be benefited by this. Like that. So therefore he says, Je Gauranga nama loe, tara hoye premodoye, tae mui jai bolihari, tare mui jai bolihari. He says, one who takes the name of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, love arises in his heart. And therefore, by seeing this, I say, all glories. Jai Boli Hari. Like that. Okay. Many years ago, there was this electoral battle going on, and Al Gore was in the election. And so there was a group of supporters of Al Gore standing, and they were, shouting, "Victory to Gore! Victory to Gore! Victory to Gore!" So some devotees were in Harinam and they saw this, and they went and approached them and said, you are saying victory to Gore, so we also have the similar thing in our language. So we would like you to say the same thing in our language. Are you okay? And they thought, okay, there is another group of people and they may become favorable. So they said, okay. So well, they said victory too in our language is called Nitai. Nitai Gaur. So Nitai Gaur means victory to Gaur. Okay? So they said, the devotee said, we will say victory to Gaur. You, in our language, say Nitai Gaur. So all of the supporters agreed. Yeah, very good, very good. So devotee said, victory to Gaur, and the supporters of Alcor said, Nitai Gaur! Nitai Gaur! Nitai Gaur! So the devotees engaged them in chanting the names of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gauranga gunite jhure nitya lila spure mane se jana bhakati adhikari se jane bhakati adhikari. One who hears about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guna. Gauranga gunete jhure nitya lila tare spure. When one experiences ecstasy nearing Mahaprabhu's pastimes, then all of those pastimes manifest, and such a person becomes eligible to be Bhakti Adhikari. Then he becomes the Adhikari for Bhakti. Gaurangira Sangi Gane Nitya Siddha Kore Mane Sejaya Brajendra Sutapash Sejana Brajendra Sutapash Sri Gauda Mangala Bhumi Jeba Jane Chintamani Tara Hoye Braja Bhume Bas Tara Hoye Braja Bhume Bas. So he says, one who respects Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates as eternally liberated. Sejaya Brajendra Sutapa. Simply by giving that respect, one goes to Krishna in the spiritual world. So, in the material world, we have to do something to be able to progress and advance. In spiritual life, when someone is progressing and advancing, if we simply feel happy with their progress and assist their progress and acknowledge their progress and do not envy their progress and do not try to impede that progress, right? Sabar samman karta koren sabar hit kautilya matsarya himsa na jane tarachit. If one does not experience this, say Jaya Brajendra Sutapas. Right? So if somebody is advancing in spiritual life, we should encourage them and we should develop close relation with them. And tell them, when you go there, make sure you recommend my name. So it is very important that we are many times focused on public relation outside. We should improve our PR inside. Because the people who can really make a difference are the ones sitting around us. And they can really, make all the difference. And everything happens by recommendation. Everything happens by recommendation. And so, here it says, Sri Gauda Mandala Bhumi Jeva Jane Chintamani. One who sees that there is no difference between Mahaprabhu's abode and Braj Bhumi. Tara Hoye Braja Bhume Bas. Like that. Prabhupada was in Vrindavan and he was going in a car to Krishna Balram temple from Pogla Ashram. Construction was going on. That time some devotees were just on the way and some Brajavasi gave them some sweets to eat. And so they were standing there on the road on the side eating these sweets, rasgulla, rasmalai, jalebi, hot milk. And Prabhupada's car passed by. And the devotees were bewildered. Oh, did Prabhupada see? And when the car passed by, they felt good. Oh, the car has gone. Suddenly the car screeched to a stop. And the car backed and came right in front of them. Prabhupada turned the window down and looked outside. And it was so sudden that devotees did not even have time to gulp what was in their mouth. some rasgulla was sticking out here, there, in the hand, half eaten, jalebi was there. And Prabhupada looked up and saw all the devotees and smiled. And Prabhupada said, Bengali sweets, essential for life. So devotees were blissed out. They said, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada went ahead. Jai Shri Radharani Madhav Bhagwan. So a few years later, Prabhupada was at a campus, in the West Coast. And the devotees had set up a book table and they were also having some Mahaprasad sweets. When Prabhupada came out, one devotee took up some sandesh and showed it to Prabhupada. And he said, Srila Prabhupada, Bengali sweets. Prabhupada picked up Chaitanya Charitamrita and said, this is the real Bengali sweet. So therefore Prabhupada took a break from translating Bhagavatam for 2 years and translated and gave purports to Chaitanya Charitamrita and made sure that they got printed on time. Why? Because many Bhagavatam commentaries are there, but Mahaprabhu's pastimes are only mainly meant for those in the Gaudiya family. And therefore, Shri Gauda Mandala Bhume Jeva Jane Chintamani Tara Hoy Praja Bhume Bas. So all of Prabhupada's books have been printed, right? But the biggest problem with devotees is they keep the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And therefore find it difficult. I went to somebody's house, stayed the night, next day morning they asked me to give class. I asked them, can I get the 6th canto? They opened the whole Bhagavatam set right in front of me and started taking out the 6th canto from the plastic cover. I said, you never opened it so far? How many years this has been lying? I said, we were waiting for you only. So therefore, here, Mahaprabhu's pastimes have been described, but we have to find a time to be able to connect with those pastimes. These pastimes are not for us only to distribute to others. So therefore, here, that is what is described, that Sakala Chadiya Tuva Charana Kamale Podiyachi Aminatha Tavapada Tole. At the soles of those lotus feet, I surrender myself and all that I possess. Right? All that I possess also. Like a very, very big rich man came up to me and he was sharing with me that, I am very wealthy, I am very rich, but not satisfied. Because I have got so much wealth and money, it is like water in ocean. He's telling me straightforward. And that he was wearing saffron t-shirt also. I said, why you are wearing saffron? I'm in a renounced mood. So I said, oh, that is very good. You have like water in the ocean. He said, but what to do? Ocean water cannot quench your thirst. So no matter how much money I make, it is not quenching my thirst only. But I see that, you are all chanting Hare Krishna, so you seem to have the joy and pleasure of having like sweet well water. Please give me a few drops of your well water. I said, please take few drops of well water, you give few drops of your ocean water. Next 6 months I didn't see him only. So therefore, here, Prabhupada was like traveling in a train and Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Giriraj Maharaj was also there. And suddenly one man entered inside and said, Swamiji Ashirwad, give blessings. Prabhupada said, are you ready for my Ashirwad? He said, yes, Swamiji, I am ready. Prabhupada pointed to Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Giriraj Maharaj and said, if I give you Ashirwad, you will also become like that. The man looked at them and then said, Swamiji, I'll come later. And Prabhupada said, people just think Ashirwad means something very cheap. But Ashirwad means I am folding my hands and I am asking the question to the devotee, how can I serve you? And how can I please you on your terms. That is what is described here. Tava pada tole. So next he says, Tava pada padmanatha Tava pada padmanatha Rakhibe amare
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 Aar raksha karta nahi E bhava samsare
Raksha karta nahi E bhava samsare
Aar raksha karta nahi E bhava samsare
Raksha karta nahi E bhava samsare
O Lord, there is no other protection. Rakshibe amare, but you are raksha karta nahi in this world of bhava samsare, birth and death. You are the only protection. So when Mahaprabhu is traveling from Jagannath Puri on the way to Bengal to go to Vrindavan, so he finally comes at a place called Jajpur, and from Jajpur Mahaprabhu is going to go to Pichalda, cross the Ganga there, and there is Pratapratra Maharaj's Vishwas or a secretary who's there, and he tells Mahaprabhu that across the river there is a very ferocious, governor, and he is very much anti, and it is not good for us to cross right now. We need to create the first peace treaty where let us stay here for 2-3 days. And when things are peaceful and secure, then we will cross. Otherwise, it is a very volatile political situation. So 500 years back during Mahaprabhu's pastimes, the political and social situation was so volatile that to go from Odisha to Bengal, you needed visa. The proper arrangements to be made. It was not so easy. So at that point, that governor on the other side hears loud chanting of the holy names from across the river from Mahaprabhu's camp. So he becomes curious. He sends a spy to see who's there. So the spy comes, sees Mahaprabhu's kirtan, comes back and reports to the governor. And he says, Nirantara kore sab Krishna sankirtan, sabe hase nache gaye kore krandan. Governor says, what is going on? He said, everybody is chanting, dancing, singing, crying, laughing, all happening at same time. So he says, oh, laksha laksha loka aise taha dekhi bare, tara dekhi punarapi jaite nare ghare. Millions of people are coming to see this transcendental madman who is very effulgent and golden in complexion, and he is chanting and dancing. Millions of people come from their homes. When they see him chant and dance, they don't return back. They join the party and they continue singing and dancing. Say savar lok hoye bauler pray, Krishna kahi nache gaye, goda gadi jaye. All of them become like madmen and they start chanting the names of Krishna. Krishna kahi nache gaye, bauler pray. They become totally mad. And he says, Kahi bar katha nahe dekhile se jani, tahara prabhav tare Ishwar karimani. Actually, I am describing this to you, O governor. You cannot understand the real impact of what is going on by hearing. देखिले ना देखे तारे. Unless कई बार कथा ना है देखिले से जाने. You will only understand when you see it with your own eyes. And therefore, Tahara Prabhava, seeing his influence, I consider that golden complexion personality to be Ishwar, to be the Supreme Lord. And saying like this, that's why Eta kahi sei chara Hari Krishna gaye, hase kande nache gaye, bada kariya. This personality, the spy himself started chanting the holy names and jumping in ecstasy, rolling on the ground. And the governor is bewildered. What happened to my man? And so the governor wakes him up and says, I think I have a desire to go and see this. So the governor calls his one executive diplomat and says, go and give message that I want to come without weapons for a peace mission. Will the Lord allow me to come and see? I want to have darshan of his feet, the lotus feet. So therefore, this is the influence of, a messenger who is not even Mahaprabhu's messenger, but who simply comes and is impacted by Mahaprabhu's movement and transmit the message. By the transmission of the message, desire to have darshan of Lord arises in the heart of this governor. Right? Somebody approached Srila Prabhupada and said that I have a desire to start a Sankirtan party with 12 good men. This was in Hawaii, and they said we will have boats, and in that boat we will have devotees and we will go from place to place spreading the name. So Prabhupada, can I have 12 good men? Prabhupada said, I don't have 12 good men in whole movement. How I am going to give you? So therefore, we have to gradually progress in the path of Krishna consciousness by personally getting purified. And that personal purification happens by taking more responsibility in serving the devotees and the mission. And so in the next verse it is described, Amitava Nitya Dasa Janino Eba
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 Amar Palan Bhara Ekhona Tomar
Amara Palana Bhara Ekho na Tumhara
Amar Palan Bhara Ekhona Tomar
Amara Palana Bhara Ekho na Tumhara.
He says, at last I know myself to be your eternal servant, Amitava Nityadasa, Janino Ebar, and Amara Palan Bhara, whose maintenance you have assured. Ekhona Tomar, like that. So, when this associate of the governor goes across the river and informs Pratapputra Maharaj's Vishwas or secretary that the governor wants to come and have darshan of Mahaprabhu. So the secretary is totally bewildered. Shuni Mahapatra kohe hoya vispay madhyapa yavanera chitta ichhe ke kare. He became totally bewildered that how can this drunkard governor become excited to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? What did he do? He has not even seen Mahaprabhu. And then he says, Apane Mahaprabhu tar man pharaila darshane smarane jara jagata tarila. Then he says, it is not astonishing for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to create a transformation simply by having darshan of his deity, simply by remembering him and by hearing about his pastimes, jagata tarila. He can actually create impact and transformation. And therefore, it is very important that this governor comes and he gives him the permission. And make sure the governor comes with only one or two associates, no weapons. With that condition, the associate goes and brings the governor. And when the governor comes, he offers prostrated obeisances to Mahaprabhu from a distance. He is from, another faith, but he changes his clothes and becomes like Vaishnava, offers obeisances to Mahaprabhu, and then he comes with tears in his eyes and offered this prayer. Adhama yauvana kule kena janma hoila vidhi more Hindu kule kena na janmaila. He says, why did I take a birth in Yavan Kul and why was I not born in a Hindu family? And then he says, Hindu hoile paitam tomara charana sannidhan vyartha mora ei deha yauka paran. If I had been born as a Hindu, I would have had the opportunity to have darshan of your lotus feet much before. And therefore I wasted valuable amount of time. And therefore, he says, my dear Lord, please bestow your grace upon me. Therefore, many times we get the opportunity and we take the opportunity for granted. There was this, a family from Nepal which was staying in New Zealand, and one of the members of the family got hold of a Bhagavad Gita from one of the book distributors, took the book with him, and he was thinking, should I read, should I not read, like that, and he was just postponing. And he thought, anyway, we are Hindus, we are born Hindus, we can always read the Gita and this and that. A few weeks later, he manifested in the temple and he met this book distributor who gave him the book. And he said, I want to tell you something very mystic. And the book distributor said, what happened? He said, you gave me this book and I was keeping it in my home and I'm thinking, what should I do? But in my dream, my grandfather came, great-grandfather came. And this great-grandfather came in my dream and said that actually nobody in our family is becoming spiritual. You should go and attend the temple and become a devotee so that at least you will be able to deliver our whole family. So he appeared in my dream and I am wondering that how did he know that I got a book? So this is too mystic for me. And therefore I want to start chanting. And he got connected to the process. So sometimes we have the opportunity and we miss the opportunity. Another devotee who became a devotee, he is from a Gaudiya family. His grandmother is Gaudiya, from Gaudiya Math. From childhood he is seeing all Gaudiya Aartis, everything. He went and became a student in New Zealand, and he was nothing to do with Gaudiya or anything. But he saw that many of his friends are into meditation, this, that. And he saw that some of them are into Korean Buddhism. So he thought, oh, this is a cool thing to do. Everybody will like this. So I will also become a Korean Buddhist. So he became a Korean Buddhist, started reading books on Korean Buddhism. And one day on the streets, one lady book distributor met him. And he was talking to her and she was showing him the books, and he said, what books are these about, So she said, anyway, these are about meditation. And he said, I'm also into meditation. So she said, really? And this lady appeared to be like, from East Asia. So this lady asked him, what meditation do you follow? So he said, I follow Korean Buddhism. And then he asked her, you appear from Southeast Asia, which country are you from? She said, Korea. He said, really? You are from Korea? What philosophy you follow? She said, Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So he got totally bewildered. He said, oh my God, that's what my grandmother was doing all her life. She said, this is the highest. The details of what Gaudiya Vaishnavism has, very difficult to find anywhere. Therefore I got attracted. So he offered a silent prayer to his grandmother and got connected. Now he's initiated. So many times you may think, oh, this is ordinary. But no, the opportunities must be taken. And so he says, Hindu hoile paitam tomar charana sannidhan vyarthamora eideha jauka paran. I have wasted my life without your association. And then he says now, next verse. Bada dukkha paiyachi swatantra jivane.
Bada dukkha paiyachi swatantra jivane.
Dukkha dure gelo opada barane.
Dukkha dure gelo
Swatantra jivane, when life was independent, there was only sorrow. Now, O Padavarane, when I have the direction of service to your lotus feet, I live free from misery. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, governor, he embraced him. And before that, this Mahapatra, when he heard these prayers coming from the governor, Pratapadar Maharaj's secretary got a shock of his life. Eta shuni Mahapatra avishta hoya, Prabhu ke charana dhari. Prabhu ke korena stuti charane dhariya. He started glorifying Mahaprabhu, holding his feet. And he says that Chandala pavitra nama Sri Nama Shravane Hena Tumar ei jiva paila darshane. Ihar ye ei gate ithe ki vismay Tumar darshan prabhave ei mat hoy. Yan nama deya shravananu kirtanadya pravanad shravanapi kvachit shvadopi sadhya savanaya kalpate. My dear Lord, what is the astonishment? Anybody chants your name becomes purified and becomes eligible to conduct yajnas also. Tabe Mahaprabhu tare kripa drishti kori ashwasya kahe tumi bhakaha Krishna Hari. Mahaprabhu embraces this governor and inspires him to chant the holy names of Krishna. And at that point, this governor starts chanting the holy names, falls at the feet of Mahaprabhu and says something significant. And he says, Sei kohe more jadi koila angikar ek agya deh seva koriye tumhar. My dear Lord, if you have accepted me, what is the symptom that the holy name is acting? Our eagerness to be engaged in service arises. He says, Ek agya deh seva koriye tumhar. Please engage me in your seva. So Prabhupada says, to be engaged and fixed in devotional service to the devotees is a symptom that the holy name is fructifying. Through Vaishnava Kripa, we get Krishna Kripa. When we get Krishna Kripa, we get Vaishnav Seva. When you do Vaishnav Seva, you get Vaishnav Kripa. When you get Vaishnav Kripa, you get Krishna Kripa. You get more Krishna Kripa, you get more Vaishnav Seva. When you do more Vaishnav Seva, you will get more Vaishnav Kripa. When you get more Vaishnav Kripa, you will get more Krishna Kripa. When you get more Krishna Kripa, you will get more Vaishnav Seva. You will get pot wash morning and night. So, if in your job they say that we are giving you increment, we are making your salary double, anybody will object? So, what is a symptom of you getting increment in spiritual life? You get more seva. You get more calls. You get more requests from devotees to be engaged in seva. So Krishna makes you mala mal. So this. And so he says, Go Brahmana Vaishnava Himsa Karyachi Apar Sei Papa Hoite Mora Hoka Nistar. He says, My dear Lord, I have been very sinful. And Prabhupada says, what are the two kinds of sin? He says, Go Brahmana Vaishnava Himse. Killing cow is a sin, and insulting and breaking the heart of a Vaishnava is equivalent to cow killing. And therefore, Sai Papa Hoite Mora Hoka Nistar. Please make me free from the influence of this. Je pada lagiya Rama tapasya karila.
Je pada lagiya Rama tapasya karila.
Je pada shapaya Shiva Shivatvala Bela.
Je pada paiya Shiva Shiva Taparila.
Je pada lagiya Brahma Kritatha hoila.
Je pada lagiya Brahma
Je pada Narada Muni Hridaye dhorila.
Je pada Narada Muni Hridaya dhorila.
Sei se abhaya pada shirete dhoriya.
Jai Jai Abhaya Pada Shirete Dhoriya.
Parama anande naji pada guna gaya.
Paramanande Nachi Paragunagaya.
So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning, Lakshmi is desiring such a place. She did austerity. And then Shiva also attained his power only by worshipping your lotus feet or securing a place at your lotus feet. And Brahma became successful by attaining those feet, and great sage Narad Muni held those feet to his heart. So all kinds of material and spiritual powers are obtained by the power of your lotus feet. Sei se abhaya pada shirete dhurya parama anande nachi padagunagaya. And therefore your lotus feet drive away all fear. Having held them to my head, I dance in great ecstasy, singing their glories. People do want great people, have set an example. So most powerful people in the whole planet, in the whole universe, they are holding Krishna's lotus feet in their heart. The most influential personalities are doing So naturally common people should also follow. That's the global trend. That is universal trend. So what is trending? Krishna's lotus feet. In the heart of all these devotees. Samsara vipada hote avashya uddhara bhakati vinoda o pada korige tumar. Your lotus feet will deliver bhakti vinod from the perils of worldly journey. Samsara vipada hote avashya uddhara bhakati vinoda o pada korige tumar. Your lotus feet will in this way protect me in the perils of worldly journey. So therefore this is the third principle or third anga of bhakti, which is rakshaishyati iti vishvaso. So we will continue with next one, goptritve varnam tatha